Hello. We're going to do 6.4 Rates of Change in Quadratic Relations Day 2. We are coming very close to the end of this unit and the end of Learn at Home, so congratulations for getting to this point. Today's date, Friday, June 12th. Note number 1. To create a table of values, substitute the x values into the equation in order to find the y values. Okay? Example 1. Using the guess method, complete the table of values using the equation below and then determine if the relation is linear, quadratic, or neither. Okay. So, guess method states what's been given. We've been given y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. We've also been given four x values. Now when they say x values, they say that x is going to be equal to these values. So x is equal to -2 all the way up to 1. And we're given a table of values. U, what's the unknown? It says complete the table of values and then determine if the relation is linear, quadratic, or neither. Okay, so what's unknown? Complete the table of values. Okay, so that's one part. Okay, and then the second part is to determine if the relation is linear, quadratic, or neither. Okay? Now the equation here is y equals, so you're going to use y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. You're also going to have to look, so that would be basically step number 1, but you're also going to have to say this part here. If the relation, okay, so if linear, first differences, and second differences, or diffs, are constant. Okay, so constant means not changing. Okay, if quadratic, okay, first differences or first diffs are not constant, but second differences or diffs are constant. Okay? All right. So in our solution space, like before, we're going to take the equation, the unknown, and the given, and put them in the solution space to find the answer. So we're going to start with the equation, okay? Y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. And we're going to take the x values all the way from -2 up to 1. So these values here tell us what the x column is going to be. These values, the first one is going to be x equals -2. Now, if we have to go from -2 to 1, Then after negative 2 comes negative 1, then 0, then 1, right? So from negative 2 to 1. All right, so now that we know that x is, for starters, negative 2, okay, we're going to sub x equals negative 2 into y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, so this negative 2 is going to go in its x spot wherever the x is written. Okay, so y equals 3 bracket negative 2 squared minus 2 times x is negative 2 here plus 1. Now I try to write your equation below or directly below the previous equation, right? So there's the 3, x now is becoming negative 2, it's still squared, minus 2, x is becoming negative 2, and then plus 1. Now, I have to follow BEDMAS. Okay, so BEDMAS says, what is negative 2 squared? Because I have to do your exponents before I do anything else, okay? So if I want negative 2 to be squared, I can take 2, which is negative, and then I can find a little button here that has x squared, and it now tells me it's 4. So here, y is equal to 3 times, the answer was 4, okay? So 4 bracket. Now, this here is multiplication. I can multiply these two numbers separately, okay, to deal with multiplication. So I go negative 2 times negative 2, okay, so I clear it. I go negative 2, so 2, which is a negative, times 2, which is also negative, okay, so I'll try it again. 2, which is negative, times 2, which is again negative, okay, that's what this is. Negative 2 times negative 2. Press equals, it gives me 4. So that whole answer is 4 plus 1. Now, they don't have a plus here. I have to know that it's a plus, right? I have to know it's a plus. I still, though, in the next line, I have to multiply these two. So I'm multiplying 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So y equals 12 plus 4 plus 1. So 12 plus 4 plus 1 is 17. Okay, so when x was negative 2, y is 17. So when x is negative 2, y is 17. Okay, I'm going to have to move this over. I'm going to run out of room. Okay, so we're now going to continue with, now we're going to sub in x equals negative 1. So sub x equals negative 1 into y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. So y is equal to 3 times x squared, which is negative 1 squared, minus 2 times x, which is negative 1, plus 1. Now I'm still following BEDMAS, right? So I have to do exponents first. So y is equal to 3. I have to do my exponents. So I have 1 that is negative, and then I have to find my squared button. Everybody has a squared button on your calculator, which is 1. Okay? Bracket 1 times. Now, this negative 2 and this negative 1 are multiplied together. So I have 2, which is negative, times 1, which is negative, equals positive 2 plus 1. Okay? I have to still multiply these two. So 3 times 1, if I don't know it, I'm going to do it on the calculator. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay? So y equals 3 times 1, which is 3, plus 2 plus 1. So then I type in 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. Okay? So when when x is equal to -1, y is equal to 6. When x is equal to -1, y is equal to 6, right? Okay, next one, x is equal to 0, okay? Sub x equals 0 into y equals the equation that we keep using, okay? Y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1, okay? So if you need to, stop the video so you can get caught up. Y is equal to, I'm replacing the x squared and the x with the value of 0. So 3 times x, which is 0, it's squared, minus 2 times x, which is 0, plus 1. I still have to do BEDMAS. Okay, so BEDMAS is I must work top to bottom. Exponents are what I do first. So 0 squared, I write y equals 3, 0 squared, there's 0, okay, and I have to find my x squared button. I press it and it's 0, okay? And then I have to multiply -2 times 0, okay, so -2, 2, which is negative, times my 0 equals 0. Now, it doesn't have a plus there, but we understand that if there's no addition sign or a positive sign, we have to understand that it's positive. So it's positive 0 plus 1. I still have to do my multiplication here. Okay, so y equals 3 times 0. If I don't know it, 3 times 0 equals 0 plus 0 plus 1. So y equals 0 plus 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. When x is 0, y is 1. Okay, let's do this. Still see? All right. So now I'm going to do x equals 1. All right. So subbing in x equals 1 into the equation y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. It's the same equation that we were writing over here. Right there. Okay. Alrighty. So x is equal to 1. Okay, it replaces the x squared as 1 squared and this x as 1. So y is equal to 3. 1 is squared minus 2 times 1 plus 1. Every time you see an x and x squared, x is still x even if it's x squared, right? So then I'm still following BEDMAS. Okay, exponents has to be done. 1 squared is representing an exponent, so y is equal to 3 times 1. Find the squared button. Squared is 1. So 3 times 1, and then I have to multiply my -2 times 1. Okay, so 2, which is negative, times 1, which is -2, plus 1. Okay, I still have this multiplication here because it's bracket. I know it's multiplication. 3 times 1, 3 times 1 is equal to 3, minus 2 plus 1. So I have 3 minus 2 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so when x is 1, y is 2. When x is 1, y is 2. Okay, now they want to know whether it's linear, quadratic, or neither. Okay, so if it's neither, okay, neither first differences are constant. So first differences are not constant. And second differences are not constant. Okay? All right. So we want, in this space here, we want first differences. Shorten it if you want to first diffs. And the next heading is second differences. You can shorten it to diffs if you want. Okay? Now, first differences is you subtract the y values. Okay? First differences is you subtract the y values. And remember, in first differences, this first row is blank, right? So you go 6 minus 17. Okay? So 6 minus 17. What is that? 6 minus 17 equals negative 11. Negative 11. Okay? Then, if these first two are used, okay, in this space, then we overlap and use the second and the third y values. So then we go 1 minus 6. So you always start low and go up higher to the next row above it. 1 minus 6. Again, if I don't know, 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Okay? And then I'm overlapping again, moving down one row. Now it's these two. Okay? So 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1. If I don't know that, I type it in my calculator. 2 minus 1. It's 1. Right? So my first differences are all the answers to the subtraction questions. They are not constant because they're changing. Okay? All right, what about second differences? Now, second differences, remember these two are blank, and I'm just taking the first and the second. I'm always starting with the second value minus the first. Okay? Negative 5, take away negative 11. So I'm subtracting. So I'm still subtracting here. Negative 5 subtract negative 11. Now when I type that in, 5 that's negative, minus is the subtract sign, and then 11 I have to make negative. Okay, equals 6. I'll do that again. 5 that is negative, then this sign here is always the subtract sign, and then the sign that's not yet typed is this one, and this one has to be the negative, which is sharing the plus with it. So 11, which is negative, and then 6. Okay. All right. So 1 minus negative 5. 1 minus negative 5. Okay. So again, 1 minus a 5 that is negative equals 6. Okay, so my second differences are here, all the values I got from subtracting, and they are constant. So in my solution, I'm going to lead to my sentence, since first differences, first diffs are not constant and second differences or second diffs are constant, therefore the relation is quadratic. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop there, upload this video, and then we'll be back to do B.